Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, and ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and I'm not sure if you know this, but every single Monday, I go live with one of my amazing Artist Academy advanced students to get to know them better and give them direct advice on their art business. You know, there are many artists who come into the Academy who go through the content, watch the videos, and they still have some questions about their own unique art circumstances. And that's why I opened up these one-on-one chats called Student Spotlights to help answer their questions and steer them in the right direction. And today I just wanted to share one of these with you. It's with Kristi Goss, and she asked some really great questions, and I think you could just benefit from hearing the answers as well as the rest of the conversation. So let me know what you think about this week's Student Spotlight episode with our very own Kristi Goss. So tell me about you. Give me the scoop on Kristi. How did you get into the art world?
Okay, so I've been doing art since I was a kid, it's just always been something I've done. I'd like to paint. I started painting about 20 years ago, but I've never taken it to the next level, and I want to make a living doing it. And I've done some trompe l'oeil painting for in-homes, like when it was really big in the 90s. I did some model homes and things of that nature. And I'm wanting to get back into it. I live in a small mountain town, and the people here have offered some people for me to do murals here. I've approached them. So I'm really wanting to get into the mural business.
Oh, good. Yeah. There's, like you mentioned, like making a living. And my first instinct is really just like murals because you could get paid so much and people love to customize it for their business. And obviously, I'm such an advocate for murals. So that's so exciting. So have you ever done a mural before?
I would say a whole room I'm a salon owner, or I was. And so in my salon, it was, the salon was called Headhunters. And so we painted it into a tropical theme. So the whole salon was just one big mural. So that would be the only, aside from window painting for people and things like that, as far as large scale. Yeah, I've done some nurseries, walls and rooms, but never outside murals. I have a friend who has a storage container on her property, and I'm getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be my trial run. So I need help.
Yeah, storage containers. That's so funny. I just bid for a logo job on 2 storage containers, and it's like they have the ribbed. Is that?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, okay, but I bid just to put it out there. So I bid for two logos on each container. I think I did like $600 per logo, which I was even like, okay, like that's like bottom because it's gonna take. But anyway, so it was like a $2,400 job for logos. It's going to take me a week. Like it's like logos are just, yeah. So it's so funny too, because I feel like when I'm painting on surfaces like that and when I'm painting on corrugated metal, people see that. And so people are going to see you do that and be like, oh wait, I have a corrugated metal building. Can you paint on that? Like, it's so funny how people's minds work.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking she sees a lot of people, and it's under a horse barn, and she has events there. So I know there's going to be some people, that have the money to spend too. So I want it to look good. And we're going to do like a landscape. So, and that's what I'm familiar with. So, but yeah, the corrugated metal part, I'm a little nervous about, but figure it out. I have a question too. When you're doing your projections onto those surfaces, do you do them at night when you're tracing them out?
Yes. And specifically, and corrugated metal is a special kind of fun, really. So I've learned that like with circles anywhere, and then corrugated metal, the projection is the most important part. So like a lot of the time when I go project, it'll be like as the sun goes down, and I'll shoot it up there. And really when I can see it really well is when I'll start. And so you'll kind of get a feel for what's dark enough and how far you are away and how powerful your projector is. But And most times when I'm doing it for a mural, I'll just kind of like sketch it really quickly with chalk or paint pen, either one. But with corrugated metal and with circles anywhere, I will take my time and make sure it is every line is exactly where it should be, because that corrugated metal, like when you're painting on it, you'll paint and you'll think it's fine, and then you'll step back. And then because it's so weird, it can make it look really weird really fast. But having the projection on there automatically evens
Oh, it
everything
evens
out.
it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
great.
it's everything. So I go and I like make little lines. So like I'll probably do it with a paint pen, like an oil paint pen, because
Uh-huh.
they're metal, and I'll do it just line by line. And so that way when I go back and paint, I'll be very, very considerate of where those lines are. Because the minute I start to be like, just kind of loose with it, which I prefer to be very loose with it, it can get messed up quick. And I'm like, man.
Okay. Okay. And then what kind of paint do you like to use on containers?
So it depends if they are painted first or not. So if they're not,
It's painted.
oh, it is. Okay. So it
Yeah.
should be fine. Like you should see. What's the rule? You can use oil. You
Oh,
can use
yeah, you
acrylic
can't use, yeah, no acrylic base over oil, right?
over oil. So what I'm going to do actually is there's this new brand through Benjamin Moore called Command,
Okay.
Command. And so Command, it's through Benjamin Moore, and it might be something you might have to special order. My local paint store, Seminole Decor, I work with them a lot, and I know the owner. And so I'm always like, hey, like, let's try this. We've been trying a bunch of things. It's actually a floor paint, and it's really thick. So you don't need like multiple coats over it. And
Okay.
so it's that really happy medium of like it sticks to really crazy surfaces like floors or like playground equipment. So I actually just use it on playground equipment. But yeah, so this Command by Benjamin Moore, it's a bit more pricey. I think it's like 50 something bucks a gallon or so, which
Okay.
normal exterior is about 30 to 35. And then interior, you can get it for 20 to 30 maybe. So
Okay.
it's like double almost of what everything else is, but it saves you so much time because it's so thick and it's going to stay on there forever. So I've
Okay.
recently found that Command by Benjamin Moore.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Actually, with that too, like as long as you can mix your other like colors in with that too. So like if your main colors are like green and blue, so if you just get green and blue, and then you can do like your exterior colors like mix into that. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
100% Command.
Okay. So when you approach someone about a mural, like let's say I'm cold calling, there's a new coffee shop that's going into town, and I would love to do something for them. It's an orchard, an apple orchard up here, and they have apple based products. And I was thinking, maybe an apple theme or whatever. But I really want to approach her with something to sell her on it. And I was just wondering how you go about, if you still have to cold call. I'm sure you get,
So
you don't have to
yeah.
or when you did.
So I actually don't have to I don't have to cold
Right.
call anymore, which is so nice and which is something you can look forward to, right? But in the beginning, I'd say there was like a solid year where I just felt like I was just going around doing a lot of extra work on mock-ups that I was just hardly getting paid anything, but it pays off. So you're perfect for thinking to do this and you're going to do this. So what I found is the best is whenever I go to someone and say like they have a wall and I'm like, oh, this wall right here would be perfect. I have an idea for you. And then I show them pictures and I show them either pictures of my other work that I've done for either other businesses or something, or I'll find a really cool Google photo. So if you want to cut down your time quite a bit, I'll find like a really cool photo on Google of an idea that's similar to what I want to do. And I'll be like,
Okay.
I want to try this, but we can customize it to you. That way you're getting a little bit of their feedback because people love customization. I think that's like
Right.
the key to doing murals. People can decide what they want. So as long as you give them, as long as you give them something visual that they're like, oh, I kind of like that. Cause like just going in and be like, hi, I'm an artist. I would love to paint for
Right.
you. They're like, okay, like show me what you can do. Talk me
Right.
into it, sell me. And so if you can't find something exactly, maybe just do like a quick sketch or whatnot. Cause there's a couple times where I've done mock-ups for things downtown that never panned out, but that's okay because the ones that did. And then I
Right.
got to, they build on it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So just do a mock up and okay. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah. And
curious if you could talk.
maybe find some like Google or Pinterest photos of something similar too, of like different styles. Be like, we can do this or this or that. That way you really just, the key is just to get them to see something they like. And sometimes that's throwing a few things at them. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And then everybody has a different taste and everybody has different what they want. And it's so funny though, because like there's so many times where you want to go to these certain places and I'll go there and be like, we've been thinking about doing that. And it's like, yeah.
Right. Okay, perfect. And then your print. I'm interested in doing prints of my previous work, for residual income. And you offer something like that on your membership program, right? Or do you have a part of your program that goes into more detail with that? Or?
Yeah. So the Print Perfect program is actually the first one that I ever created. And it's actually, so if you go into my library, so in your artistacademy.co website, go to my library and then it's right there. And it'll just take you through like a bunch of the options, all the sizing, all the pricing and all the stuff.
Okay. Do you recommend a printer in that you use? Or
no, I have always outsourced my printing and just, because I found one place locally that's really good. And I'm actually trying to currently find a really good drop shipping company that also plugs into Shopify, which is my website. So I'm on the hunt right now for that, but I will let everybody know as soon as I find one that's good.
Okay. I had more. The NFTs, what program are you using to create the
movement?
Yeah, the animation.
So it's the easiest thing in the world.
It's so pretty.
Thank you. Yeah.
It looks so cool.
Yeah. I downloaded this app. It's called Motion Leap. One word, Motion Leap, and it has a little fox on it. And I downloaded it forever ago. I was like, this is cool. I just like played around with it. And then I just like recently when I did an NFT, like I put one together, I just made some motion, put it up. And ever since I've just been like playing around with that app. And it's really just, you just tap on it and it does all these crazy things. And I just find the motion that best fits with that painting to where it's not like the whole thing isn't going crazy or whatever, but it has a little bit, but like, so you can, but it doesn't take away from it.
It doesn't take away from it. Are you using an iPad for that when you're doing that app, or do you use your desktop?
I just use my iPhone.
Oh, your iPhone? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do everything. Like I do all of my video is on my iPhone camera. All of everything is on my iPhone. I live on my phone. My schedule, my notes, my like if I have to write something down, it's going to get lost. So like everything is on the phone.
Okay. So you're using OpenSea to drop them. Okay.
Yeah,
nephew, and he's in his early 30s. Anyway, he's really into NFTs, and he gave me one. And I'm like, man, this would be the perfect thing to get into. So anyway, when you did the recent podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, how fun. Okay.
Yeah. Did you listen to the one with Aloe today?
Yeah, I got through half of it.
Okay, yeah.
So I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I just started this morning. So yeah, I guess the murals too, like you started this mural tour, I guess, in your city for photo ops.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I think that's awesome. So now that's on my to-do list. So how long did that take you to complete and how did you go about it?
So you're in a small mountain town right now, right? So like there's not a lot of art there yet, or?
There's a mosaic mural. It's one that I live near the Sequoias. So people travel through our town all the time to go up to the park. It's not the national park, but it's the national forest. But there's lots of trails and things. So we have a lot of people traveling through. We do have a mural, a mosaic on a wall, but that's it. And there's several buildings around town that could be muraled up.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, that my head is spinning with like Sequoia mural stuff.
Right.
And like, you could even do like a welcome to your town mural. Like, like we have a greeting. I pitched, and it was a process to get the greetings from Springfield mural because Springfield
I live in Springville.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah, you have the perfect opportunity. So it started slower. So I started with the butterfly wings, and that one.
I love it.
Do you have wings in your town yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, do that one first.
chomping at the bit.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, and just really, you can go to like, even like if you're pitching to someone, show them my page and be like,
Okay.
look, this girl did this in Springfield and they blew up and now they're all over the world and whatever. And like, cause like that one, like I all the time try to outdo the wings, but everybody, that's what everybody wants. Like that's like the thing that everybody like, is like, oh, I gotta take a picture of that. And that's what really jump started it. So like I made that one, the one wings one, and then a bunch of like I always say like you're not a sorority girl in Springfield if you haven't taken your picture with the wings. So like it's all over
Right.
Tinder, it's all over everywhere, and
Oh,
so
awesome.
yeah, and a bunch of people. So that that was basically like my trial one. So I took the success of that one. I did that one for free, and I showed all the other businesses that I was pitching to, like, look how much traffic this one's getting. We can create a custom one for you, and that really helped. So that's if you're in the
Okay.
perfect position to just do exactly what I did.
Right, right, right. I had an idea of we have a lot of red-tailed hawks here, so I was kind of trying to do something that was had to do with the community, you know. I just don't know.
You could definitely do the hall
Awesome.
though. You could make it beautiful. You could make them
Right.
like with like maybe some feathers coming off or like something coming off the sides, or I don't know. You
Uh-huh.
could, because I've done
Right.
owl wings, I've done eagle wings, I've done a
Okay.
bunch of different stuff. So yeah,
All right.
people just love it. Especially the bigger the better, I've noticed. And
Okay.
it doesn't necessarily like the bigger doesn't necessarily mean like more time and more detail. It's just people love big things and they like really like just, so if you can maybe make them go like how, okay, I did these one, wait, hawk wings, do hawk wings kind of come in like this, right? I guess they could.
They
I'll send you
could.
some photos and
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah. Like curl around. Yeah.
okay, yeah, just to make them
Yeah,
as
that'd be
big
great.
as possible to come up. And because I'm now pitching some wings, or I guess, yeah, some wings for Lake of the Ozarks, which isn't very
Uh-huh.
far from here. And I'm
Okay.
doing them like that to try because it's like a square wall. And I'm like, how can I
And
make
it
them
looks
bigger?
like they're hugging them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be great.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's been on my mind. We also have some restaurants that are going in, you know, and it's mostly, I would say this town is a cross between cowboys and hippies. Like we've got a little bit of everything,
Ooh,
you know. So it's all over the place.
mine is all
So yeah,
cowboys.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a lot of cowboys up here, and there's lots of water. We have a river that runs through town, so I was thinking about water. I don't know, something like that. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited to get started on this.
Awesome.
I guess
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I just don't know. I guess I'm just approaching people is the thing. I'm
Yeah.
renting a room. Yeah, that's probably the like. How do I do it to win them over?
I'd say so. One tip for pricing is let me know your budget. You
Right.
know,
Okay.
let them. And if they refuse, if they're like, I don't know how much this costs, whatever, and I usually tell people a range, be like, well, you know, like so if I was just starting out, even though I did the first one for free, so you could go that route.
I'm up for that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Totally do that.
But other ones that you're pitching, I use like a safe bet is like, you know, like they can range between $500 and $5,000. So I'll make one to fit whatever you are. And sometimes people will be like, oh, I want to spend 1,000. I'll be like, okay, great. Because like
Right.
also like like because putting out that 5,000, they're like, whoa, it can go all the way up there. Well, like in comparison, 1,000 doesn't seem like much. But if you were like,
Right.
this is $1,000 for this, that, they're like, whoa, that's a lot. Like it's such a mind game. But yeah,
Right.
just talk to them. Like, I want to do this for you. This could be really good for your business. It'll draw, especially with the photo op art. That's a much easier sell, I think. And like, this is going to
Okay.
draw people in. They're going to tag your business. That's a big one. So I'll
Right.
tell
Right.
people,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So you
Yeah.
really just have to believe in it, and you can, and you
And I
do
do.
because it's already been done. But not
Right.
where you are. So everybody where you are is going to think that this is like they don't know me, so they're going to be like, this is the most amazing thing. Like it's so funny. There's some other people who go to other towns and they'll see wings and they're like, are those yours? And I'm like, no, like, and those were way before me. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited about that. We
yeah.
have a local junk store too, and I know the owner, and I think she'd be interested. We'll see. She calls junk in the trunk sales once a month, and people from all over, you know, put up booths and come downtown. So I would love to get something on hers too. And it's a small building, but it's also flat. The
Oh,
other one, yeah, one of the other buildings I was looking at, it's an old brick building. And I'm like, ooh, do you put up like concrete board at all, or do you
Mm-mm.
usually just paint right over the surface? Okay.
Yeah, I just pay right out of the service, and you can use primer if you want to. I typically don't. I don't know. Like my local paint store, they're always like, use primer. Like, why do you hate primer? Like, it's
I
just
know it's
another
like that
step.
extra step. I know.
It saves your paint from soaking in, and some people like to start with a white background. I don't care. Like,
Right. What would you use on brick? What do you
X
generally use most?
Yeah. So I use this exterior, it's exterior ultra spec. So ultra
Okay.
SPEC, and it's just an exterior. It's just like a medium grade exterior
Okay.
paint. It's not like the
Okay.
best of the best, but it's not the cheapest. Say it's around like $35 a gallon. And I typically get like, oh yeah, also, have you been through the Mural Master course yet?
I joined last year during COVID, so I went through
Okay.
some of it, and
Okay.
then things went crazy. So anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be doing that again.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I just show you exactly what the can looks like too,
Okay,
and like
perfect.
a bunch of stuff, like a drop cloth, like to bring, and like rollers can help too. So I just show like the rollers, and then like, I typically use like a small, medium, and a big brush just to have them. And
Do you
yeah,
have help on some of these, or do you do them
uh,
all alone? I know
so
you've
for
had projects where you've had people join you. I wish I could have done that last year. Yeah, I was just
yeah,
wondering if you
yes
have.
and
If it
no.
helps.
I'll bring Artist Academy people out, like the local ones or ones within like a few hours drive. They'll
Uh-huh.
typically reach out, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, come out to this one, and they'll help, and I'll like teach and stuff like that. And then some, I've gone back and forth on like having like permanent help. I've just my schedule is so it changes so much. So I've
Right.
found that whenever I have somebody showing up every week, it's like, hey, sorry, this customer had to reschedule, so I'm gonna work on canvases, and they're like, then they have to reschedule theirs, but yeah. So
Right.
sometimes.
Okay. So your canvas business, where are your customers coming from?
So recently, I'm having more and more coming from LinkedIn. Yeah, it was just crazy,
Wow.
but I
That's
took.
odd.
Yeah, I know, right? There's a whole LinkedIn training too in the academy. If
Oh,
you want to
okay.
check that one out, it's under
Okay.
the social media section. I go through. Although I recorded that like almost a year ago, and
Uh-huh.
so I need to update that one because it's more and more. So like I started off like just posting here and there, like having like connecting with people I knew. But LinkedIn has a really great algorithm, meaning like if I like one of your photos, everybody
Mm-hmm.
who's following me will see that I liked it, and it's easier. Like the algorithm is much better than here and on Facebook. So, and also
Okay.
it's people who are businesses, like business owners who I really
Right.
want.
That makes sense. I just think
Yeah.
of, jobs and businesses. So I guess
Yeah.
you are a business, but I just didn't think of that as
I know. Isn't that funny? Yeah. And
that's
then
awesome.
here, so LinkedIn, I don't know that I would say it's my top one, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just standing out to me more and more now. But, and Facebook and Instagram here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of a
Okay.
mix. It depends. Like sometimes, like I'll have a summer where it's like all Facebook, and
Uh-huh.
then I'll get a couple in Instagram. And then the next year it's flips and it's like all Instagram and hardly any Facebook. I'm like, that's.
Right. Do you sell your original work, or do you sell the reproduction?
Yeah, so I sell the original. It's a lot harder for me to sell like original canvases that I create on my own with my own
Yeah.
imagination. It's a lot easier to sell custom commissions.
Yeah, it's
'Cause-
hard to let. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah, it's like I
I
think
get
that's for
that.
everybody. Unless, yeah, it's just it's tough, but it's not impossible. But there's been some that I've held on to for 2 or 3 years, and then they finally sold. So I'm like, cool. And now
Yeah,
I'm
that's
selling
great.
NFTs of them, and which is
That's
great.
awesome.
I know it's
Yeah, that is
crazy.
so cool.
Yeah.
All right, great. I guess that's pretty much everything I have to ask
You
you
had great
today.
questions. This has been
Okay,
a
good.
really good conversation. Thank you for coming
Okay,
so
great.
prepared. This is
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. You really stood out to me from the start when I found you last year. I'm like, wow, she has like so much information. You do. You have so many, and you've taken so much time to do everything you have in that academy too. I'm like, wow, it's impressive. It
Thank
really
you.
is. I've
I'm
always had ideas to do that kind of thing, but I don't do it. So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And now, yeah, we're at a point where I'm like, I finally have all the information pretty much in the academy.
right.
I'm like, now I've been taking it easy for the last month. And I've had this like little pull of people and an idea that like, hey, let's create like an up level group of people who like have stuff going on. And I've had people reach out. So now we're in the middle of creating like a master's program that's like with hiring and like just like after you kind of established the art business, after you've made some money with it, and now we're doing like a master's program with, so maybe look forward to that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. It's good that we got to meet, and let me know if you have any questions ever. Instagram is definitely the best way to reach out to me if you have any stuff. And I will send you some of the wing mock-ups that
that'd be great, Andrea.
Yeah, just to get some ideas. Yeah. And also feel free when you're pitching too, use my photos. Be like, this is what I can do. Like I have people do that all the time. Like, there's this girl in New York, one of the girl, Brianna, she's here in the Artist Academy, and she was like, can I like basically reproduce yours but with a different color? I'm like, sure. Just like tag me as like,
they are so pretty.
Yeah.
Great. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
for sure. Just tag me as like inspired by or whatever. And
sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Thanks, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's it. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. As I mentioned in the beginning, this was a student spotlight episode with a current Artist Academy Advanced member. So if you're listening to this and thinking, I too have some questions that I could really use some answers for, to help me decide what direction to go in next, if that's you, if that popped into your head at all, then I want to invite you to join the Artist Academy Advanced and book one of these one-on-one student spotlights directly with me on a Monday. We can do them live on Instagram to help grow your following, or we can just do it privately, just you and me, and I can answer all the questions that you bring. You choose. I do these every Monday with current members of the Academy who need that little extra bit of guidance, and I'd be happy to chat with you too. So if that's you, go to artistacademy.co to apply and join. Simple. artistacademy.co to apply and become a member, and we can get to chatting. Okay, I'll see you next week.